It is important to take the time to understand what is cash flow protection programs, what is personal paycheck protection programs, what is corporate paycheck protection program, and more so, what is government paycheck protection program. It is not enough to stop and take stock of what these things are, but it's equally important to ask yourself what steps you can take to effectively apply these systems in the most efficient ways to achieve larger than life impact. It is this understanding and the ability to apply these systems that will give you the personal competitive advantage, that will give you the corporate competitive advantage, and that will give you the political competitive advantage. At Global Capital Inc., we have designed a very unique program titled 10X Wealth Leadership. This program stands on two pillars, and those two pillars are one, you understanding wealth love language. And when we talk of wealth love language, we're talking about three important concepts. And it's about you understanding the leadership love language. And again, we introduce you to three important concepts here again. Now, understanding the three wealth love language and the three leadership love language, it will literally provide you with a content of information that can rock your world and give you the tools, the systems, the techniques to be able to make larger than life impact on your internal workforce, on the specific target market, and the general public. Remember, the name of this program is 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp, all designed for you by Global Capital Inc. Today, I will spend some time talking about this program and how it can bring tremendous benefits to you. But just before I go into today's program, do permit me to introduce myself. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Codes. Later in this year, I will introduce you to my new book. It's already written, and that book is titled 10X Branding and Marketing, the Psychology of Doing Business. Now, if you're in business or you're the individual that wants to achieve more in life, this is the book for you. It will tell you so much about how to optimize your brand threats, how to reach your specific target market and make large to life impact. It teaches you so much of the essential tenets of branding and marketing that with you learning and applying these systems, you will be able to make large than life impact on your target market. Now, let's get into today's program. We are talking about 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. Again, this program stands on two pillars. One is you understanding the wealth love language, and I'll tell you what that is just now. And two, it's about you understanding the leadership love language. Now, what exactly do I mean by that term, wealth love language? The wealth love language represents the DCM, the ECM, and the SCM. The DCM means the debt capital market. How much time are you committing to understand the DCM, the debt capital market, and how you can leverage this market to create wealth, either actively or passively? How much time are you committing to understand the ECM, the equity capital market, and to leverage this platform actively or passively to create massive amount of wealth for yourself? Last but not least, how much do you understand about the smart capital market? And what steps are you taking? What informed action are you taking to maximize your disposable income by leveraging these markets? You see, it is the understanding of these systems that will put you in a much better position of strength to cash flow maximize. But remember, I would always say, it is not enough to have the knowledge. This is the knowledge. When you go deep into the belly of the beast, it provides you with the knowledge. But the knowledge is not enough. It is equally important to be able to apply that body of knowledge to achieve desired results in your life. The tools that enables you to apply this body of knowledge is what we call the leadership love language. Now, what exactly does the leadership love language represents? The leadership love language represents three important concepts. One, it looks at wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. And if you were following me, my very last broadcast, I talk a lot about the process of thinking ahead. Today, I will add some more nuggets to that. So, leadership love language is largely about you understanding wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. All great leaders across the world that has ever been born, they think ahead. You don't wait until you're in a fix and then you start thinking about it. The second tenet of a great leader is for you to understand what is wealth leadership and the process of seeing beyond problems. And of course, this is in the context of creating wealth. There are so many people in the world today that have dreams and hopes and aspirations to create wealth for themselves. But guess what? When you see the challenges surrounding your steps to attain wealth, you become consumed and overwhelmed with just looking at the challenges. What our program does, it enables you to see beyond the challenges and empowers you to take the right action to rise above those challenges. Last but not least, it's about you understanding wealth leadership and the process of informed action. And we talk about this a lot. There's a qualitative difference between action and informed action. What this program does, it really positions you to understand the wide gap that exists between taking action and taking informed action. And it's by understanding this, it is what puts you in that position of strength to achieve desired results. Today, I want us to dig a little deeper into the concept that we call leadership love language. And again, I want us to look at the very first tenet that we call wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. Today, the world is in a pandemic. And every time it seems as though you're about to escape it, now that you have the vaccine, we have heard about the mutation of the virus, which again threatens the reopening of countries, the reopening of business, the reintroduction of the people to the workforce, which is literally threatening people's life. So what this program does for business leaders, entrepreneurs, the innovators, it brings you to that point to ask yourself, what is your cash flow protection system? There are many businesses that are running that you do not have a cash flow protection system. What this program does, it awakens your awareness to the fact that there is such a program. And in awakening your awareness to this fact, we work with you to help you to build appropriate and practical systems to mitigate the loss of cash flow from your primary source of income. Now, most businesses are set up and they may be doing well, and you're happy and excited about all of that. We're also happy and excited for you, perhaps more than you are. But what happens when that primary cash flow system is interrupted with natural or man-made disasters, such as the novel coronavirus? What happens? In what we have seen, the evidence are there. You don't have to look very far for that, for the evidence. What the world is seeing is that when something comes to interrupt the cash flow, it affects the life of that business. It affects the livelihood of the people that you care for in the workforce. We have seen hundreds of thousands and millions of businesses close doors across the world. Many of them are totally unable, incapable of withstanding this global shock. Are you thinking ahead of your cash flow protection strategy? It's absolutely necessary. So the program in itself brings you to that point to start thinking about it and intellectualizing with your team of think tankers and perhaps with us who understands appropriate and practical tools that you can use to mitigate this risk. Remember, we are bringing to you a team of economists, a team of certified public accountants, a team of venture capitalists, private equity investors, and investors, business consultants, and we are bringing to you a team of strategic thinkers that understand how the global financial market works. They understand the DCF, the ECM, and the SDM, and they can help you build out effective mitigation programs that can help you to build out the strongest cash flow protection program. And we have talked about this. Perhaps sitting with a structure or quant, they might be able to help you to mitigate this. Why? Because one of their roles is to bail out securities, derivatives, where it doesn't exist. That gives you the hedge and the protection that you need to have continuity in the life of your business operation. That is the skill set that we're going to bring to you. So these are things that is absolutely necessary for you to put yourself in a position of strength to be able to think ahead of them. You don't wait until cash flow dry up and then you start saying, my God, I should have think through this entire process. Do it now. It's not too late. A next pandemic may come. You want to be prepared for that tsunami. So the program that we're going to be providing to you, the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp, it's well designed, well thought out. A team of dynamic persons are putting their brain power together, years of studies and research to ensure that you get the competitive advantage in doing business, in sustaining your business, in growing your business, in scaling your business with local, regional, and international relevance. You think ahead of these processes. So what we have done is to remove the sting of all of this heavy lifting from you because we have done it for you. And there's a number of important elements of the thinking ahead process that we will bring to you in this masterclass. On Saturday of this month, which I believe is the 6th, we will be doing a second introductory program. But my encouragement to you is to get registered with our program so we can come to your place of business personally. We can perhaps do a Zoom meeting, a social media conference, and have a discussion with your team and walk you through some of these strategic processes that can literally give your business, your brand, your idea the competitive advantage. So when we talk of wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead, this is how deep we're going. This is not nothing for you to take casual. This is serious business. The life of your business depends on it. The livelihood of those people who are working with you depends on this. Your family depends on this because you use part of your income, your positive income cash flow, to provide yourself and your loved one with the quality of life that you know that they're entitled to. And you do not want anything to come to disrupt that or to interrupt that. So our team of think tankers will give you that support to maintain, sustain, and expand on the dreams and hopes and aspirations that you have for yourself, your team, and your loved one. Talking about your team, we will work with you at two levels. One is to help members of your team to develop what is known as their personal paycheck protection program. And they are entitled to this. All right? They're entitled to this. They need to know about strategic approaches that can be used to develop and build out their personal paycheck protection program. So, should an unforeseen disaster strike, at least they know that they have taken informed action. You have empowered your workforce to take informed action to protect themselves financially. You know, as I speak about this, it really blows my mind to see the magnitude of possibilities that exist out there for your workforce, your theme, the people that you call your family also, the number of opportunities that exist out there for them to develop their PPP, personal paycheck protection program. Again, we have done this research. We have a clear mental picture of what we are doing, and we want to transfer this body of knowledge to you. Perhaps along with their personal paycheck protection program, we can talk to corporate entities in collaboration with employees about developing what we call the corporate paycheck protection program, the CPP. Now, think about the impact that developing your corporate paycheck protection program can have not only on your organization cash flow, but on every single human resource that are within your organization. And let's examine this a little bit. To develop this system, it simply means that should a man-made or natural disaster strike, such as the novel coronavirus or any other, you don't have to go into the existing reserve or cash flow reserve of the company to pay out in the paycheck protection program because you have an automated systems that would have already been built out to speak to that. Now that automated system can be designed to accomplish several things. One, it can be built out first of all as performing asset. Two, it can give you asset appreciation. Three, it can give you equity leverage. That's 3 times it can pay you once you understand the system and how to leverage it. That means it can pay employees for a long time. It can help to beef up your business cash flowing protection strategy. And it can also help you to surpass the profitability of your organization. But that is not all. Think about the impact on the staff morale that they don't have to worry about the loss of income because of an invisible monster, novel coronavirus. Think about the level of morale that they're going to have, that the organization would have think through this process. You have been thinking ahead of crisis, and you have been taking affirmative steps to protect your comfort zone, your organization, your team, your loved ones. Their level of motivation is going to significantly raise, and you can be the single person in your corporate leadership, because you're thinking ahead, that is helping to reduce stress level. And stress level is something for us to talk about. We got 110 million people across the world that dies every year from stress. 110 million people. And you, as the corporate leader, by developing your paycheck protection program, the corporate paycheck protection program, you can help to reduce stress in the workplace. This can reduce absenteeism. This can significantly reduce staff turnover, because you have now a highly motivated workforce. And your workforce is no longer feel as though they are a product of a mistake. I don't want to say the exact word, but your team, your workforce are now feeling as though you're a leader who is leading with empathy, love, and compassion and care. And because of the fact that you're able to demonstrate this in the programs and systems, that the HR programs that you're setting up to impact their lives, to make large than life impact, they want to give their life to you. They want to be more productive in the workforce. This brings me to talk very briefly about corporate culture. Any company that is going to take the time to build out their cash flow protection system, help their employees develop their personal paycheck protection program, and go the extra mile to develop your corporate paycheck protection program, that is an advanced corporate culture. And I'm saying all this against the backdrop that this don't have to cost you a single cent if you understand strategic financial management. And at Global Capital Inc., we are prepared to transform this body of knowledge to you and help you build out the systems that can have that large to life impact on your organization, the people all around. It don't have to cost you squat, because we are not telling you to take a lump sum of capital and put it here and you lose, the profits of your organization. No, we are not about that. We are pro private sector driven, but we are also pro humanitarian driven. We believe that the two can have a symbiotic relationships and become the greatest lovers the world has ever known. It don't have to cause you squat. And this is why we talk about you understanding the wealth love languages. How much do you understand the DCM? Do you understand enough about the DCM to up level it in a way to create financial advantage in a way that most people have never thought about? We have taught through this process. Are you in a position of strength to leverage the ECM, the equity capital market, in that way? To perhaps see yourself as an accredited investors and can leverage that position of strength to create secondary and tertiary sources of income in smart investment portfolios. We have taught through this process, and we're going to bring these concepts to you with these unique programs that we're designing for you. It don't have to cost you a squat from your primary source of income. So I want you to divorce yourself from the falsified notion that I'm telling you to spend more money. I'm telling you to be smart. I'm telling you to develop a more humane approach in how you build out your corporate culture. Why? Because it is this corporate culture that will give you sustainability. And you need sustainability when you're positioning yourself to become the global thinkers, the social actors, and the transformational leaders. You don't want to be a global thinker and then your workforce is not highly motivated because it's going to undermine the process of your expansion vision, your global vision. You want to ensure that you have a well-oiled working machine when you are positioning yourself to become that global thinkers, the social actors, and the transformational leaders. So all that we're saying here to you, adopt these new principles that we're saying to you and watch the entire corporate culture that you have change and watch your business potential escalating, your cash flow becoming more diverse, and you smiling to the bank with a bigger smile on your face. And your workforce, your team, your loved ones, they're all cheering you on. It's called leadership, love language. Take the time to understand this program. Our 10x Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. It will transform your life. Your life will never be the same. And this is only a tip of the iceberg that I'm bringing to you here. This program is a very, very deep program. And I'm really happy to say that we have really put tremendous time, talent, and resources into building out this program just for you. We at Global Capital Inc., we operate from the standpoint of if we're not going to add value and if we're not going to fix problem, we're not going to do it. Our motto is that we must commit to make that large than life impact on our clientele base. We are committed to that process. We live for that process. All right, so before you judge what we are doing, I want to encourage you to take the time and just get your feet wet. Get to understand what we're about and make your own decision, an informed and educated decision. Be like a lawyer. The lawyer investigates a process and make proper representation, or be like the doctor. Do your diagnosis before you prescribe. The diagnosis is to understand what we're about, use our product, test our product. All of the introductory programs are free. And from there, you can make an educated and informed decision about working with us. Now, just a little briefing on what we do. I'm going to bring the curtain down on today's program, but I just want to give you some information about Global Capital Inc. At Global Capital Inc., for the moment, our key focus is on corporate debt management. And what do I mean by corporate debt management? In most cases where you take out debt, many of you are not aware that it's a smarter way to manage that debt, to bring down the debt cost. And in bringing down the debt cost, largely because it's tied up with a lot of asset and equity, it gives you greater early access to the asset, early access to the equity, and that gives you equity leverage. That means that you would be in a better position of strength to leverage the equity to attract more financing to grow and expand your business. Secondly, we talk about corporate wealth management. You don't want to have your excess liquidity sitting dormant. You want to identify smart, innovative ways that you can put money to work for you. Smart people all across the world do this. And what we are doing, we have connected with some of the great minds. We have a team of some of the great minds with us that will be walking you through this process. We also, for the average individual, the private individual who wants to know more about personal debt management, we have such a program for you. And personal debt management may relate to home mortgage. There are many persons that reach out to us when they are in stress. They cannot pay their monthly debt obligation. monthly debt amortized, collateralized debt obligation, and they stand a very high chance to lose that asset, their liability, the financial institution asset, lose it. Millions of dollars can just go zoop down the drain because no one has taken the time to teach you personal debt management. You need to commit the time, talent, and resources to learn these things you owe to yourself. Yes, you can blame that the school never teach you that. You can blame that at most universities they're not teaching you this, but now you have an opportunity to learn these things so you can protect your asset. It's not only about land asset acquisition and asset leverage, it's about asset protection. You need to understand appropriate steps that you can take to protect your wealth. You don't make wealth and just lose wealth. So ensure that you come into our program and get this information. We're here to serve. We're also talking to you about personal wealth management. And the Personal Wealth Management Initiative, uh, we help you to build out your personal paycheck protection programs. We talk to you about emergency savers accounts. We talk to you about smart investment accounts, children college education. You don't wait until your children are ready to go to college and then you start thinking about their college funds. That is not how great leaders think. You think ahead of all of these things. You don't want to wait until a pandemic strikes and then you say, oh my, I wish if I had my emergency savings account that can take care of me and my family for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. This one has lasted over a year so far, and it is mutated. That's the novel coronavirus. Do you have this financial safety net to protect yourself and your loved ones? So we help you build out all of these systems and provide you with practical tools to mitigate them. All right. So these are just some of the programs, services that we provide at Global Capital Inc. for you. And remember, we'd always say that Global Capital Inc. mission is to position our clients, employees, and strategic partners to understand, create, and leverage passive income cash flow, build multiple streams of income, leverage smart investment strategies in order to build out generational and intergenerational wealth. In our programs, you will learn about financial intelligence in the commercial financial sector, financial intelligence in the investment financial sector, financial intelligence and smart capital market. Last but not least, you will learn about financial intelligence and sustainable livelihood. It's important for you to recognize that financial intelligence goes beyond your ability to make money and maximize your disposable income. It addresses the issue of understanding the global financial system and leveraging this intelligence to create good debt cash flow, minimize existing debt financial portfolio while you maximize financial and equity capital gain. The understanding of the commercial financial sector, investment financial sector, and smart capital market are an important body of knowledge for you. I trust that you reach out to us and you make that commitment to learn as much that you can learn about the wealth love language and the leadership love languages. Absolutely important content in this modern day. All right. Again, my name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Quote. My new book, 10X Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Doing Business, will be out very soon. I want to encourage you to like this podcast, share this podcast, subscribe to it. And so in 2021 and beyond, we can reach as much people as possible. And we do enlist your support in this regard. Be blessed. I really trust that you would have enjoyed today's podcast. And remember, on Saturday, the 6th of February, we will be hosting a introductory program into the 10X Wealth and Vision Bootcamp. And for all of the hundreds of people across the world who took the time to wish me happy birthday on the 3rd of February, that was yesterday, the private sector who also reached out to me, the people on social media, both LinkedIn and Facebook, and the many WhatsApp groups that I'm in, who took the time to wish me happy birthday. I want to say thank you. I'm so humble with the experience and the joy that you helped me to experience on my birthday. Don't ask me how old I am. I'm getting there. All right. So thanks again, and be blessed, and see you in the next broadcast.